Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to Fifi and Gigi's Tarot Readings. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for joining me. Hope you're all doing absolutely amazing. So, Scorpio, first we're going to be looking at the beautiful Mystic Rose Oracle cards. Let's get started. Let's have a look. What's the message? And then we will be moving on to the tarot and focusing on the big October energies for 2025. Okay. Excellent. Oh, I've got two cards. I will accept that. What do we have? Oh, three. Okay. So we have the butterfly, evolving and growth, next phase, healing inner child, releasing the past. So think about the world in the tarot. We're wrapping things up and we're finally coming completely full circle. Then we have mask, hiding true feelings, pretending and delude, gaslight, and personify you know. So what cards would I see with this? Like the Seven of Swords, someone wearing a mask, or the devil, for example, someone that's being manipulative, or someone just simply hiding their feelings, like the Four of Pentacles. And then we have the runner, fear of intimacy, running away, intensity of letting go, turmoil and fleeting. So we have the runner here. And this could be something so simple as someone afraid of commitment, afraid literally of intimacy and all that kind of stuff. But remember, Scorpio, we do have three cards, so just take what resonates with you. Let's start with the tarot. So because I am doing the October big energies, of course I'm going to use the Halloween tarot. We're already getting, in the month of Halloween, so very appropriate to use the Halloween tarot. Now my camera's gone a little bit blurry, so let me just quickly fix that right now. And we are back. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly shuffle these cards for you, Scorpio. So, what energies am I going to be looking at? Literally everything: love, career, money. What are the blocks or things that are happening behind the scenes? What's the advice? And then what else? Anything else that you need to know with the last card? Okay, let's get started. Just a quick announcement, Scorpio, for those who are still interested in learning tarot, do check out our sample tarot course. Look at the video and get a feel if this course is for you before you fully commit and enroll either today or tomorrow. Now, these tarot cards, these tarot cards, especially students that are looking at this right now, you're probably wondering, wait a minute, what elements is which? So just to give you an idea, whenever we see the bats are referring to swords, ghosts are referring to cups, imps are referring to wands, and pumpkins are referring to pentacles. Don't worry, I will be very, very clear with my cards. But these are amazing cards, the Halloween tarot cards. Okay, let's cut the cards. Show me the energy behind the deck. What do we have? Okay, so we have the Eight of Imps, also known as the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is the minor arcana of the Chariot, the bearer of good news. Oh, yeah. We also have the Page of Imps and also Justice. Okay, these three energy cards are very highly linked to projects, something that you're working very hard towards. And think about contracts too with the Justice card. If this contract could be about another party or an organization. But there's really good news. And this is what the Eight of Imps is, the bearer of good news. Someone is sending you really good news. It's going to make you feel very excited because you're going to respond straight away, Scorpio, because this contract is something you've been waiting for a while. So let's look at your cards. Okay, so the first card represents love. What do we have? So we do have the Page of Pumpkins, also known as the Page of Pentacles. This is the student card. So love is going to be a lesson for you. For some of you, you may actually be in school. You may be in high school, university, TAFE, or you may be doing other forms of studies, like webinars, Zoom, maybe online courses. And it is possible to find love through there. A relationship may develop. A student may also just fall in love. So think about that. Remember, being a student doesn't discriminate whatever age. Some people decide to go back to school in their 50s or their 60s. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you're going to be learning something about yourself and about love. We're going to start off with a small message. A small message can also lead to in-person communication, which is wonderful. Amazing. So again, we're seeing the page of pumpkins. You're going to start to feel very young at heart. It's a very innocent situation, very young and beautiful situation that starts to flourish and it starts to grow. My advice, Scorpio, start to check your messages. Like I said, it could come through a web portal where there are other students. Just check your messages. Just, not necessarily does it have to come through a text message. Perhaps there is a WhatsApp group with all the students. As an example, just make sure you keep up to date with all your DMs. So let's look at career for a moment. Let's look at career. What's going on with the career? Ooh, okay. The world. You're going to be ending a cycle that's got to do with career, because the world means wrapping things up. You're coming completely full circle and you're starting the next phase of your career. Now, not necessarily does it have to mean I'm going to quit my job. Not necessarily, no. It just means that you're starting the next phase. When you start the next phase, that also means you're bringing wisdom, experience, knowledge, growth. You're changing. You're not the same apprentice, as an example. No, the apprentice later becomes the master. So you're ready to start this next phase in your life, whether it is, hey, I want that promotion, or you know what, I'm going to start that side hustle. I'm going to do that business, whatever it is. It's all been a collaboration of experience and learning that has brought you to this point. So it's the end of the line. Something has reached the end, but most of all, a new beginning starts to emerge. This is an excellent card. Get excited, Scorpio. This has a lot to do with also travel. There could be travel too, with work. That's a great opportunity. Let's look at money. We've got the 10 of bats. So the 10 of bats is actually the 10 of swords. So money has been challenging, but, and we must understand, especially with the 10 of bats, the 10 of bats also shows that when there is sometimes disappointment or when things just don't go our way, yes, there may be challenges, but there's also moments of liberation in the sense, okay, it's happened, it's over. This is the worst that it can get. It can't get any worse than this. The only way for this to turn around is through the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords brings clarity, release, and some form of calm. With the Ten of Bats, sometimes this can also suggest now more than ever, we need to handle money better. We need to become really great acquaintances with money. Money needs to be our best friend. And sometimes, and I understand there's certain backgrounds or certain beliefs. Some people may have that money is evil, whatever it is. We can still have the opportunity to improve our financial situation. And that means looking at where certain expenses are going, looking at our subscriptions. What can we improve on? What can we do better? Sometimes, even with the 10 of bats, things can happen outside of our control. Let me give you an example. Let's say, and here in Australia, we have superannuation. I believe in other countries overseas, they call it the 401k. Well, it's literally a managed fund investment where, these organizations invest your money. Can it go wrong? Yes, of course it can. Do we have control over that? No, we don't. It's out of our control and it's very disappointing. It's terrible when that happens. The good thing is, though, you have to always remember, especially with the 10 of bats, that it can't get worse than this. You can start to take more control of your money and become best friends when it comes to money. Become an absolute best friend when it comes to money, in the sense, start to realize what else can you do better? What can you do better? What were the lessons? What was the things that got you to this point? And how can you avoid these patterns again with money? So the fact that we do have the 10 of bats, I would definitely say now more than ever, Scorpio, because this is giving you a heads up, watch where every penny and cent and dollar is going. Just watch. Look at financial statements. Is there something out of the ordinary? Are you being scammed? What's going on? So do this right now. Don't waste time. Don't wait for this situation to get to the 10 of bats. Do it right now. What's happening in the background too? Okay, so we do have the 9 of imps. So the 9 of imps is when we have our walls up. The 9 of imps is the 9 of imps is more like the wounded soldier or the wounded warrior. So the 9 of wands. And this is also telling you, Scorpio, you've been through a lot. You've had your ups and downs. And you still show up. You still show your face every morning the next day. This is telling you not to give up. Don't give up. Don't give up on your projects. Don't give up on love. Don't give up on money. Just don't give up. You're allowed to have your moments of, you're allowed to have a tantrum. You're allowed to get angry. You're allowed to express yourself, but you're not allowed to give up. Most of all, it's okay to bring down your walls. The reason why I say bring down your walls, because of the mask. Sometimes with the mask, it can show someone that can be a bit deceiving, you know, and when I say deceiving, let's say that's someone that's gambling your money. Is there anyone that is handling your money? How do you know they're making all the right choices? Sometimes it's not always good to put your trust completely on a situation. We need to check. We need to see what is the performance. It's okay to bring down your walls, because it's almost like when our defenses are up, we don't let anybody in. So, and the cards they completely understand, Scorpio, that you are tired. You're tired of people's bullshit. You're tired of the letdowns. They get it. But it's okay to bring down your walls and start to trust again, start to love again. Advice, 3 of imps. This is the advice. Something big is on its way. And especially when it comes to projects, things that you are very passionate about, that you're side hustling for. I feel like this is very closely related to the 8 of imps. Like I said, there is the bearer of good news. So something big is coming. This is the card of exploration, when you're like, oh my God, finally, my ship is coming. So if you've been waiting for people to get back to you, it wasn't because of you, Scorpio. There have been delays because you've had to wait on other people. They probably had to get through so many emails, and by the time they got to you, it's like, oh yeah, I gotta respond to this email. So you're finally getting responses back. They're going to be really good news though. Again, this is something that you're going to feel really, really excited about. And then finally, we have the last card. We also have the 3 of bats. Now, the 3 of bats does show heartbreak. When we see heartbreak, you must understand, and again, heartbreak, it can be literally anything. It could be love, but it can also be this. With the 10 of bats, the 3 of bats can also be the mask. It can be also the runner here. Someone that you deeply love, but then they ghost you, they disappear. They do something that is totally out of their character. So what can we do with that? You must always remember with the 3 of swords that, first of all, Scorpio, any situation that you go in, you go into any situation with the best intentions. Can we control other people's behaviors and how they act and what they do? We can't. That's completely out of our control. But there is always a difference how you feel about someone versus how they make you feel. If they're making you feel sad, if they're making you feel fear, insecure, that's telling you something already. Those are already red flags right there. So, Scorpio, this card is telling you right now in October, people that you interact with, have you ever questioned their intentions? Has that ever crossed your mind? And do they keep their promises? What are their words? When we look at their words, what are their actions? These cards are telling you, be discerning with the people around you and think about just for a moment, what are their intentions? Are you happy? Because remember, and I always say this, anyone is better off being single than being with bad company. It's true. It's actually true. It's less stressful too. So, Scorpio, if people disappoint you, this is the thing. When people start to treat you like a second option, they never considered you important then. So sometimes we need to find our own tribe, our own people, and be discerning that, wait a second, I deserve better. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be treated with respect. So, yes, it is possible, even in the month of October, that people can disappoint us, not just loved one, friends too, people that had our back. You have to always remember, Scorpio, because you've got some really good cards here, like the Three of Imp, the Eight of Imp, you've got the World. When you start to make noise and start to achieve certain milestones in your life, not everyone is going to be clapping for you. Not everyone's going to be happy. They're going to see that as overnight success. So it may cause a bit of jealousy. People may be a bit disappointed. People may turn their backs on you. Like I said, Scorpio, be very discerning. And like I said, remember, if you've ever questioned someone's intentions, that's already telling you something that they can't be trusted. So these are your cards, Scorpio, for October. Of course, I want you to have an amazing month. I wish you a beautiful month. And of course, Halloween's on the horizon. Of course, I do wish you a wonderful Halloween. Power to you, Scorpio, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.